Hello YouTube, it is Hunter Surge here with another day of Firestorm reveals. It is day 4. Before let's get into it, let's review some collect Elestrals updates with collection numbers. I technically could have done this yesterday because the video did show... No, I think it showed the Stardeck print of Exaltair. I don't think I could have done this yesterday. But we have Exaltair, Champion of Hermes added here, as well as the Carry On and Carry Off and some other stuff. But this does tell us that it appears that the other champions of... The other cards in a champion archetype will be in collection numbers after the ace. And it does confirm that carry off is in the win section. So Exaltair is after carry off. So that probably means that the other champions of Hestia are coming after Majesea. So with that information, we can probably safely assume that all of these slots before Earth Scout are going to Earth, that's 11 Celestial slots. That's a lot of Celestial slots. That's very interesting. Excited to see that. Two of those are probably, actually now that I think about it, two of those probably are Champions of Hermes stuff technically, because we've seen Spy Nymph, and Spy Nymph is a base Earth, and I believe stuff is categorized based more on the elements of the one cost forms. Let me check where Spy Nymph was put in base set. Yeah, Spy Nymph and Spinal Sect were in Earth in base set. Why are you not loading? Stupid Opera. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so Spy Nymph was in Earth, so yeah, we can probably safely assume two of those Earth slots are actually effectively win cards because they're Champion of Hermes stuff. And then these two slots in between Carry Off and Exaltair, we can probably assume are Cockatoodle and Dracodoodle, I believe they're called, that we saw in the Stardeck list. Something interesting to note here is if we assume that carry off is the start of the win section, which it probably is, frost section starts at number 58, so that's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 slots. So despite there being a fire and wind focus, wind is not actually getting particularly more Elestrals than the other elements. There's a much better balance between the elements, which is really cool to see. That's really great. My one concern with the news that we were still doing like elemental focuses is that we might still have like lopsided support, but no, it looks like despite Fire and Wind getting a particular focus in this set, the number of Elestrals they are actually getting is pretty similar to what we're seeing in other elements. That said, we are probably like pretty close to seeing like we've seen like a significant amount of the win stuff, or like know what a significant amount of the win stuff is, because 3 of these win slots will be going to the retrained Flamemoth line. Then 2 of them are Cockatoodle and Dracodoodle. We of course also have the Spy Nymph and Spinal Sect in another element, but that only leaves 2 of these win slots left open. So we'll see what those are. Could be more champ stuff, could be just generic win stuff. We'll see. Cool stuff. All right. So today we have water. First up here we have the new art of Poseidon, and it is confirmed that that these new arts are also getting prints in the set. Very, very cool. And putting it at number 82 is here. It's water before thunder, right? It's water before thunder, right? Yeah, it's water before thunder. So this does tell us that water and thunder are actually only getting 2 runes in this set. They're getting the Poseidon reprint. So for water, we're getting the Poseidon reprint and Poseidon's Fury. And then for thunder, we're getting the Zeus reprint and the Zeus rune that we saw. So we're not getting any water or thunder runes besides that. There are going to be a lot of fire runes in here, though, because that means all of these slots, these 5 slots are all fire runes. Because divines always come before the other rune types. So we're getting 5 more fire runes in here. And with that, we can probably safely assume that like 4 to 5 of these are like up to like 91 are probably wind runes. Probably 92. Like maybe one more frost over here, maybe one more over here. But like these 4, almost certainly wind runes. We're getting like while the Elestral numbers seem to be better balanced out, the rune numbers are definitely very slanted towards the elements that are getting focused in this set, which is fine. That's absolutely fine. We're still getting like multiple runes per element. Like technically, thunder and water are only getting 1 new rune, so like that's not ideal, but we'll see how it all shakes out. Then moving on from that, we have, of course, the Sluggle, Champion of Poseidon. We've gone over this before. Where it receives a water from Poseidon's effect, it can special ascend into Globby from your hand or deck, which means that with original Globby, you can immediately ascend into Majesea, which leaves Champ Globby available to do just utility stuff unrelated to quick ascension. And that is what we're seeing here. Globby Champion of Poseidon is a 5/8. Not super ideal stat line, but it still hits 5, which is good. And when you cast it, you can search your deck for an Atlantis or Rise from the Depths and add your hand. This is really cool. Really helps enable the like water reanimator stuff by giving it like a compact searcher for both the pieces of the Rise from the Depths package. It also means that this being a 5/8 isn't super real because it's always going to be able to search for Atlantis. And slap that down and become a 7/10. And even if your opponent is on like a 1-cost water guy, you're still going to be able to like say a Misenchanted Necra, for example, or Misenchanted Lumaru that's going to be buffed up to a 6 attacker. Globby is still going to beat over that because it's getting 2 buffs from the Atlantis instead of just 1. It's also on cast, which means if you revive this with Rise from the Ashes, much like Draco Ray, you're still going to get this effect, which is very, very cool. Lots of cool stuff with this card. I like this card a lot. I'm not sure if this will ultimately end up in the deck, in the Champion of Poseidon deck, because it does kind of require you to be on this other package, in addition to all the divine stuff that you already have to be on. But this is pretty good stuff. Then we have the new... Oh, no. We have Majesea. We have full details on Majesea. That's important. So, Majesea is a 6/14, 3-water. When it's enchanted, and this Majesea is in attack position, spirits enchanting Elestrals specifically are water instead of their original element. So you will turn off the effects of all of your opponents' non-water Elestrals, which is pretty cool. However, their Divine Runes and their Stadium Runes will still be fully online. That's pretty important, because as long as Zeus and Demeter in their current form exist, that means that this card in attack position is going to be extremely vulnerable, because all it takes is a single resolution of Zeus or Demeter for any 1 cost to be able to beat over this. And this has been the fundamental issue with a lot of Ascensions for as long as I've been playing the game. Even after the removal got hit, Zeus and Demeter existing as they do makes it really, really easy for a low investment guy to just beat over your Ascension, and the 6 attack, the attack position mode of Majesea still has that problem. If you have Atlantis up, you can like get around that somewhat because it pumps it up to 9 attack, probably 10 attack if you went into it with the champion Sluggle line, because it'll probably have 4 spirits on it because of that. So that will take you out of Zeus or Demeter range for most guys. But this is still something that's fairly easy to beat over with just basic combat. However, if Zeus and Demeter end up hit in some way, then this card becomes extremely threatening and maybe a bit too strong. But we'll see how it all shakes out. And then you can return up to 2 water from your Underworld to your Spirit deck if this Majesea is in defense position. So very importantly, this is just a completely optional effect. It's not like Draco Ray or Voldusk where you're just forced into doing it. And thus play into Spoiled Fruit every single time. If you suspect your opponent might be on Spoiled Fruit and you don't want to take that risk, you can just not resolve this effect, which is really, really good. That's really important. It's really important that these big Ascension guys, if you're going to give them a healing mode, that can't be something that they're forced to play into. Really, really annoying. So that's really great. As long as Zeus and Demeter exist, the better mode actually might be putting it in defense and ignoring the skill drain part. But that does cause you to walk into spoiled fruit. But the theory would be like you get up this Majesea, you slap it in defense, and you're healing 2 every turn on a 14 defense body. That's very difficult for your opponent to deal with, while putting up your actual threats beside it. And that would be like the whole concept there. Maybe you run Altar and you utilize Altar to sometimes put the Majesea to attack, swing in with it, to turn off your opponent's effects, and then you can alter your Majesea back to defense if it's ever in threat of dying. Cool stuff. Very, very, very powerful top end. And Poseidon kind of needed a really powerful top end because Poseidon is like one of the worst divine runes. But this is a pretty cool card. This has a lot of incentive to be built around. It's like a really powerful top end. And both modes like have some merit to them. Like the defensive mode is still like, well, still like we're not really doing anything, and we're still just depending on our low end to really be beating over stuff, which doesn't really put us over the top. And without Zeus, that can sometimes make things a bit of a struggle. But we'll see how it all shakes out. And if we have like Galaxy out, original Galaxy out, not the Champ Galaxy that we know we're getting, since that'll obviously have like some different effect. If you have Galaxy out, it becomes a 14 attack. But like attacking him with a big Ascension like this is always like a bit risky because you can always get shielded. But you know, it's fine. Yeah, this is like a good top end. I like this top end a lot. And then lastly, we have, we also have the box topper full art right here. Very nice, very cool looking. And then we have the new Poseidon rune, Poseidon's Fury. So this is an invoke rune for 1 water. You disenchant any number of water from 1 or more of your Poseidons, and an opponent disenchants the same number of spirits from their field. So like if you're staring down like a 5 stack, like a traditional Elestrals stack that's putting out a 1-cost guy every turn, you get to go, okay, Poseidon's Fury, disenchant 1 from Poseidon, so I'm paying 2, pop your guy. Basically just Earthquake. Even into Ascension, it's still Earthquake, because if they have to disenchant 1 from their Ascension, then oops, the Ascension dies because it's under enchanted. Where this becomes a bit maybe not quite as good is if for example, like a lot of these champion decks are viable, which one would hope they are, and there's a decent amount of them in the format, and you're fighting into one of them, and they have a Divine Rune up, now you have to pay enough, disenchant enough to make them get rid of their Divine Rune while also killing their guy. Now, to be fair, doing that is pretty powerful, but doing that will also probably mean you have to spend everything that's on your Poseidon. So, you know, it's... I can see the card being good in those matchups, but it's also like its primary mode. The main thing that makes this card appealing is definitely not that function, because the moment your opponent starts having like a really wide, like a bunch of things that have spirits on them, they start having a lot more choices unless you pay out your ass. There's also the prospect of using Divine Healing, but I'm not super sold on that. Maybe it's like a sideboard thing. But like, I think that sounds a bit Winmore. You should not be building, unless like every viable deck in the format is a champion deck. You should not be building under the assumption that you're going to be running that scenario. You should be building under the assumption that Poseidon's Fury is going to let you go, I'm Earthquake. I'm an Earthquake that's at 3. That you get access to by being in on the Poseidon deck. Which is pretty cool. And that would be it for today. Yeah, that's all the reveals for today. Very cool stuff. Poseidon definitely needed a lot of help because Poseidon is like one of the weakest divine runes. Um, and this is a really strong start. We need to see what the rest of the champ Poseidon stuff does because we've only seen the stuff in the Sluggle line. We also have the Champ Galaxy and the Champ Veritaqua plus Javalantis. Assumedly, one of those will be the Divine Searcher. I would put my money on the Veritaqua being the Divine Searcher. And there might be some more Champion of Poseidon stuff elsewhere in the set that wasn't spoiled by the Star Deck list. So we'll see. But with that said, this is Hunter Search, signing off.